So this all began when I was filming chipmunks for my cat. She loved watching them, but I began to notice there was more to these little critters than I first thought. I couldn't find a whole lot about them online other than the basics, so I decided to spend some time with them and make a video about the experience. I stayed at a campsite at a small fishing resort in the mountains of southern BC at about 5,000 feet above sea level. That's about 1,520 meters. The forest goes for several kilometers in every direction, and there are chipmunks all through these woods and in the campground. Those patches are logged areas. I bought some wild bird seed, and they were very happy to gather those. After a while, they got pretty friendly, and now and then one of them would even run right up on me. In the morning, they were waiting for me to get up. I think they heard me moving around in the trailer. Good morning, Dot. So I ended up spending 3 weeks in camp watching chipmunks and making videos. Chipmunks around here are preyed on by hawks, eagles, owls, bobcats, wolves. Heck, these guys are the snack food of the forest. So they often have injuries and scars. I found I could tell them apart by the scars and such, which was the only way to follow their individual activities. A common injury is a partly missing tail. The chipmunks normally have tails as long as their bodies, but possibly during an encounter with a predator, they sometimes lose a part of it. I call this one Stubby. This one is Stubby 2, who recently lost her tail. They are collecting food for the winter, so they fill their cheeks and then go stash the food. Apparently they will eat this food during the winter months when they are underground in their burrows under several feet of snow. They only partially hibernate and always eat stashed food during the winter. At least that's what the Hinterland Who's Who website told me. Once their cheeks are full, they will run off to stash their seeds and then run back for more. They are creatures of habit. Their little feet have actually made a trail by running back and forth to their stash. Here comes Stubby 2 on the way to stash, going full throttle across the driveway and into the woods. Let's see that again in slow motion. When the chipmunks go to stash their seeds, they don't waste any time. She is going as fast as her little legs will take her. The stashing trail gets a lot of traffic in both directions. Their favorite seeds are the sunflower seeds. They can really stuff them in. If I slow this down even more, it's easier to see what is going on. They use their tongue to pull the seeds into their mouth and then stuff them into their cheeks. The sunflower seeds take an extra bit of pushing, especially once the cheeks are getting full. Their front feet have 4 toes and claws for climbing, and a funny sort of double heel pads. Lots of fur on the toes, too. The back feet have 5 toes and a furry heel. Nice long claws here, too, for climbing trees and me. The cheeks can get pretty big. This guy doesn't like the cracked corn, so those pieces get rejected right away. This is slowed down by 80%, so this is happening very quickly. Each piece of corn gets spit out right away. And what about teeth? Yep, they have two very pointy teeth on the bottom. That explains why I keep finding sunflower seed shells like this. Those cheeks are getting really stuffed. Time to go stash. I've also noticed the chipmunks have a few cat-like behaviors. They groom their whole body much like a cat. Tail needs a bit of work too. A good scratch and we're done. They're often together in the same pairs, and I've noticed these pairs often do this with their tails. I'm not sure what this means, but they like to take turns doing it. The chipmunks also use their tails for stability while in the air, just like a cat. They spin and contort their tails in order to stick the landing. Sometimes the tail moves get pretty complex, and they can really jump. And of course, just like cats, they get the zoomies all the time. I notice that when they get hot, it's over 30 Celsius today, they will find a shady spot and lay flat on their belly to cool. Larry here is just being casual. They use their sense of smell a lot. When I was away overnight one night, they all had to smell me before they could trust me again. And then along came a visitor. A squirrel, who has apparently had kids recently, comes to visit. She isn't stuffing cheeks, she's eating the seeds. And of course, she likes the sunflower seeds too. The chipmunks are not impressed with her eating the best seeds, but they keep their distance while she is here. I've noticed a hobby of squirrels is chasing chipmunks. Her front feet are quite similar to the chipmunks, with 4 toes and that funny double heel. And how about the teeth? Yep, the same nasty looking pointy teeth at the bottom. Her back foot has 5 toes like the chipmunks, but not as much fur on the bottom. Nice big claws for climbing trees, of course. One day she brought around one of her almost grown kids who hasn't quite realized he's now too big to ride on Mom's back like he used to. I saw him do this several times and he really is expecting a ride. He did manage to slip in a quick bit of nursing before Mom finally had enough. A family of sparrows also brought their young around to feed. And a beautiful blue stellar jay came around fairly often to partake in the seed smorgasbord. Then came a change in the weather. Yesterday it was over 30. Now today it is below 8 Celsius and raining. Distant thunder starts approaching, but seed collection continues. Then the rain gets heavier, and a big clap of thunder. Time to take cover. The jay is okay with the rain, and there are still some choice seeds here. All the chipmunks are gone now, so I guess it's time to pack it in for the day. Then the rain picks up a lot, and there's hail mixed in. All the creatures have taken cover, and I'm going to go inside myself and put the heat on. The next morning, the sun is back and so are the chipmunks. Lots of gathering and stashing to do. This has actually been quite an interesting experience, spending all this time watching and filming these guys. They certainly don't need my help in getting food, but this group had a special treat this summer. I've gained a new appreciation for these tiny creatures, watching them eat, fight, love, and play, and I'm glad to be able to share what I saw with you. I wonder, this winter, when they are underground in their burrows, buried under 6 feet of frozen snow, munching on their stash of yummy seeds, I wonder if they will tell stories about the strange human that was briefly their friend last summer. Wouldn't that be a thing? Thanks for watching.